Gentlemen, let's get down to business.
Can you dig it?
You dig it?
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Yeah, I can dig it, yeah.
Can you dig it?
I got invited out by a college classmate to check out his paddle club. We actually reconnected last year at the Short Hills tournament, and ever since then, Jack has been singing the praises of Chatham Fish and Game. And then Jersey Shore paddle legend Matt Cheslock, a good friend of mine, started telling me how great it was too. So at that point, I had no choice. I grabbed my partner Luke, scooped up Ches, and we made a whole night out of it. Chatham Fish and Game really surprised me in the best way. I didn't realize how much history and character the club had until I spent time there. The members couldn't have been more welcoming, and the paddle culture is truly unique. It's not about chasing PTI or ratings, it's about the experience, community, and social side of the sport. The only catch for me is the distance. It's about a 48-minute drive from where I live. I love my home club, but if Fish and Game was 18 minutes closer, I'd honestly consider joining. Chatham Fish and Game, with its 125 plus year history, was established in 1891 until a major fire burned through the original Victorian clubhouse in 1951. Nestled on 3.5 acres in the heart of downtown Chatham, the club was formerly known as Chatham Fish and Game Protective Association. It has been at the center of sporting recreation life in Chatham since its inception and is dedicated to the vision of its founding member, George Shepard Page. Mr. Page envisioned a club offering a range of activities to satisfy its members' social and sporting interests. Originally a fishing and hunting club, Fish and Game ultimately shifted its accommodations to reflect the membership's growing interest in swimming and racket sporting endeavors.
There's the E. Gotta go to the R. Bryce, you're up.
So
Those three kegerators, there's three kegerators not behind the bar.
yep.
From May through November, they're in that shed. And we hang out a lot out here. So come up here.
That's what Ches was saying. He's like, I thought they were outside.
So this is all lit up. 2 TVs Thursday night. We got the kegerators out there. The TVs are on. Baseball games, NFL football. There's like 100 people down here hanging out, chilling out. This tree is all the lights go up. It's open night for men's paddle. Also, so there's a ton of guys here. And there's a pool. Years ago, back in the 70s and the early 80s, the courts would be built over the pool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got some pictures I can show you guys.
How many courts did you have back
It
then?
was
It's
two.
just 2?
But they had to do it by crane every year.
Oh, Jesus.
And it got very expensive.
That's wild.
So we only have 2 now, and people are talking about we should try and go back to that. I just don't know. It's probably cost prohibitive to get a crane to put them up every year.
That's wild.
Like, we have 5 teams in the fall for men, and only 2 courts. So we have the players, we just don't have the courts. So like they're all here.
Yep.
We got 2 TVs. You know, they're all set up.
Oh, that's awesome.
People hanging out all over the place.
How many pools? Just one pool?
There's a baby pool and one pool. We got 5 tennis courts, which we have barely any tennis players. My wife uses this. We have parties in here, but
Yep.
she uses the pickleball court a lot.
Oh, this is the pickleball court?
Yeah, we don't have. As you can see, we're a little space limited here.
Yeah. Just an event space outside of the
Event
pickleball
space.
court?
One of our members made those 2 things. They're beer pong tables that come off the wall. We actually have a beer pong tournament.
That's awesome.
How do we get an invite to that?
Yeah.
I was actually saying something to someone. They were like, "Can't have people who don't belong win." I've never done it myself. Like I come to watch, but the people get all dressed up.
Beer pong member guest?
We can do that.
Yeah, that's sweet.
So let's give you an example. My son goes to BC. He's a senior, and this guy who did it, his son is also a senior. They didn't know each other. The guy's not from Chatham, but they met up at school, and he had a 22nd like mini birthday party here like 2 weeks ago.
Ches, do we give up our membership at Seabright and join Fishing Game?
I'm thinking about it. If I didn't live across the street from Seabright.
Oh, wow.
So you could roll down here at 2 in the morning and play if you want?
Now, let me backtrack. So when I first joined 20 years ago, like the first 3 or 4 years, the machinery worked. But it's from the 40s.
Okay.
It kept breaking down. Every time it broke down, $300 to fix, someone had to come out, and you bowl 2 balls and it'd break again.
Right.
So the president at that time decided, let's rip it all out. So I was one of the guys, like 7 of us, every Thursday for like 2 months. We're down on our backs with socket wrenches, pulling all the equipment out.
Really?
It was so old, like a little, thick as a pencil, like this long, weighed like 10 pounds. It's like lead. Tore it out. So now the way it works is we have kid pin setters.
Do you really?
Do you know that was my dad's first job? 13 years old, setting pins.
Really?
Yep.
So in theory, you could come down and bowl, but the pin setters aren't available to you. But we got high school kids from like 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade. They sit back there, they do 2 lanes at a time. They're almost as fast as the machines.
Really?
So you bowl, the pins go down, there's a thing, there's like a lever that they push, or it's a hand crank, it goes down and blocks any more balls from coming so they don't get hit.
Right.
They pull the ones down away, clean it all up, raise the thing again, and you bowl again. I don't know what to over that. This just goes up
Yeah.
like this.
So then you bowl, and then they're cleaning it up, they drop it down.
We had to bring it in through the window. It was so long.
Oh my
So
God.
there was like 20 guys, and then as you got to the window, you ran around, came inside, took this end, and kept moving.
Too funny. The manpower takes you this stuff is unbelievable.
Well, everyone chips in.
Yeah, that's
So this is not operational anymore, but it's part of the history of the club. It's a shooting range.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know if there's gonna be enough light for you, Sean.
Yeah, I know that.
Should be more light.
Oh, wow.
You can go out.
Oh, yeah.
How long has this been non-functional?
When was the last shot fired here? Before my time, so it's been a long time.
When was the last shot fired? So you got 2 taps over there,
Thank you.
and how many taps over here?
4. Oh, that's
4.
lost in what? That was not supposed to be put on. Lost in James. It's an 8%. We were trying to return it. Somebody tapped it.
But I do. Maybe so.
Got the next episode of Hut, Sweat, and Beers. And I've got Luke, Rob, and Jack. Rob and Jack are members here at Chatham Fishing Game, which is a very unique club we've already seen. Guys, welcome to the show.
For having it.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about the history of the club and how it's evolved over the years?
Sure. Club started, I think the date was 1891. That's on some of our logos and stuff. So I think if I have the story straight, it was initially protective association, overfishing and overhunting. What they did, it was in the 1800s, so it wasn't like they weren't hunting and fishing. It's not like today's day where they're completely stopping it. They just didn't.
Right.
There was nothing between the club and Passaic River, which is like a mile down the road. So that's how it started out. And I think it was mostly just a social club, a little bit of a hunting club. As I told you, there was a shooting range downstairs that was probably in operation back
Yeah.
then. Then, I don't know when the pool was built, it's full of people.
Ray, can you hear that? That's train, folks.
Yes, we're very close to the train. I serve when the train goes by.
You said there's a golf course at a certain point too, right?
Oh, yeah, there was, I read some book I gotta find it again, somewhere in this place. But there was like a small 9-hole golf course going up this direction, about a mile. I think we sold off in the early 1920s or something like that. We have no space, so it'd be great if we had the space. We only have the two paddle courts here. And we've got 5 men's teams. We'd like to have more women's teams, but the league only allows 2 because of the 2 courts.
Yeah.
We don't know what year paddle started here.
I don't. We can talk to one of the guys coming down later, but probably 60s or 70s with paddle may have started.
So I mean, I think that picture was in the front of the thing is from the late 50s, early 60s.
Okay.
Yeah, and as I was telling you before, certainly in the 70s, and I think until like 1984, they would bring in a crane and set up the courts every fall over the top of the pool. And then in 1984, it just got too cost prohibitive. They built the courts where they are now on stilts. So I don't know, there's not many other clubs that have them up.
Raised up.
And this court here is 20 feet in the air. The park underneath it.
That's crazy.
You have to put pictures of the old courts over the pool too, with a video of this.
Yeah, I've got a book over there. We can look at that later.
What's your reservation system here? Is it hard getting a court?
Yes, definitely hard getting in court because it's like there's so many players and only the 2 courts. So we have a little app and you sign up. You've got to log on at 8 o'clock the week before.
Okay.
And if you're not getting it by 8:01, you've lost.
Is that one of the biggest topics of complaints among
Yeah.
members or?
Yeah, but I think most of the members here are pretty good about the fact that if you haven't played in a little while, somebody will book a court not knowing who their 4 are, and they'll just send out a mass text and be like, looking for 3.
Yeah.
And then it's just
First come, first served.
first come, first served.
But it can be a problem. One of our longtime members, George Hamilton, had never plays in the winter league. And he's probably playing longer than any of us here. And I said, why'd you sign up for the winter league this year? He goes, because I can't get a court, so that's gonna be my chance to play.
Wow. And what about the hierarchy? I mean, are there different groups that play together based on PTI? Is your club a little
Well,
more?
that I feel is the beauty of this club compared to a lot of clubs.
Okay.
Everyone will play with everyone. We hear the stories at the other clubs, the really good guys don't play.
Yep.
We play with everyone. There's a little bit, the best guys may not play with the totally worst guys, but guys on our A team will play with the D team. No.
And so how many times a week will you guys play outside of league play?
I played maybe one, but I think with me, over the years, I had so many different injuries that I limit my play.
Okay,
I'm actually healthy right now, but I don't want to go back to it.
all right, yep. We all know what that's like.
Usually one more time in addition to league play for me. We have an open ladies night, we have an open men's night. As well, Tyler, our pro, does clinics leading up to open play. So, you will see a lot of guys, particularly, guys that want to get better, signing up for the clinics, listening to what he has to do, and then sticking around and waiting until the courts open up.
Okay.
Yeah, the open play doesn't start till 9.
Doesn't start till 9, and there'll be people here till midnight easily.
That's good to know. We're having that problem at our club. The other way, we're blocking out primetime courts or programming. And guys will not, like guys that aren't involved in the clinics and the programs don't want to play at 9 o'clock, particularly during the weekday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any times where the courts are open, like weekday during the day or like Sunday at between like 11 and 3 or?
Courts used to be wide open.
Yeah.
Before COVID, on a Saturday afternoon.
Okay,
I would come down and hit serves by myself with no reservation.
yeah,
Okay.
That doesn't happen anymore.
okay,
There's some availability on Saturday and Sunday here and there, but Sunday's actually pretty booked up. And during the week, between like noon and 5, towards the window. So,
Who are the legends here? You guys know any of the?
Besides you guys.
Yeah,
one main legend, no, his name is Bill Clover.
is he the 87
He's
year old?
87, he's been here forever, he still plays in our intra-club tournaments. He can't play on the team anymore, but he comes down at all. I'll give you an example, we had it's just not really a party, but a bunch of people came down for New Year's Eve last year, hanging out, watching the football game, brought some food. He showed up at 12:30. Yeah, he was at something else, and he showed up, had a couple of beers, he comes down during the week. In the summertime, he'd sit outside and have a beer with everybody, there's no one close.
And if you're not paying attention and you actually are playing with them and you give them a forehand, you better watch out.
Really? Was he a tennis guy too, or?
Yeah.
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 What about your I always get this wrong, intra-club tournaments, right?
So that goes back to what we were talking about before, is the way that works is the best guy plays with the worst. And then it gets closer together.
Really?
So for a long time,
Just based on PTI, nothing subjective.
it's subjective. We started it before the PTI.
Okay.
And there is a little bit of subjectivity to it because the goal is actually to get the newer guys better. So in a lot of cases, the new guys, they're brand new, they really haven't played much at all.
Yeah.
So they might be talented, but they don't, so they'll try and put that person who's got some talent with someone who's a better coach.
Okay.
But may not actually be a better player.
Yeah.
There's a little nuance to it, we're trying to get, and we've seen it work, these guys get better. And for years, the best guy, one of the best guys always won with a weak guy.
Yeah.
It's flipped now, and the
To,
middle guys
Middle
are
guy.
starting to win this tournament.
so what do you think, who created that culture? Has it been here since before you guys started playing here, or?
Yeah, I guess, we only had one team for the year, and that was before I started playing. They kept asking me to play, but I don't know the rules. I think I started in 2012, and that's when that was the second year of the second team.
Okay.
So since that time, it's kind of been like that. And now we have 5 teams.
Wow. Yeah,
So I
so,
definitely think that's the overwhelming culture here, like Jack said before, is that, when I first started playing, I knew nothing about it. These guys saw that I wanted to learn how to play, and they kind of took it upon themselves to be like, all right, let's go get some reps.
I tell guys, I had a hip resurfacing done 3 years ago. So before that, in the fall, I played my match and I couldn't play.
and,
Yeah, I had to take it easy.
yeah,
But soon as that was over, now I can play a couple of times a week. And I tell guys, once the fall is over, even injured guys will play much more with the newer guys.
Okay. that's great.
So, yeah,
No, that, if you're gonna say something.
no,
What drew you guys to the club when, so you, it sounds like didn't start, you didn't join to play paddle, you joined for a different reason, right?
my wife, who you know,
Yeah,
so on top of things, she had an application into this place. The minute we put the bid on the house, now we can walk 2 blocks away, and she grew up by you,
Yeah.
in New Jersey,
Yeah.
going to pool with the lake that was a lake.
yeah,
Kind of like that's what Noe is, and Noe was one of the options here, and she was adamant, we're not doing anything with a lake. She wanted a pool
cool,
and
alright.
down the street, I would say 70% of the members would probably walk.
And so how'd you get involved in paddle? Did somebody say, hey, Jack, you gotta get out there, or you watched it and said, I know you're obviously a high level athlete, college athlete.
Yeah, I just didn't know much about it, even though the town I grew up in Long Island, I paddled, a lot of paddle, but I never played. And actually, a funny story. It's to take it aside, when I lived in Hoboken with 2 guys from Providence, Chris Gordon and Don Sapper.
Yeah,
And they would go off to Stevens Tech and play paddle every Thursday night in their khakis. This was in the early 90s. I was like, what is this sport if they wear khakis? Running around, it doesn't make any sense to me. But they were tennis guys at Providence.
yeah,
And again, I didn't think much of it, and then when I got here, I played tennis, I played on the tennis team one year, one summer. And the guys on the tennis team, like, you should come play paddle.
Okay.
That's kind of what got me.
How about you, Rob?
I moved into town 2000. So I've been here a long time, but for us, it was just a matter of finding a place to cool off and hang out around the pool with some of the people that we had met when we first moved into town. I was fortunate enough that a lot of the people that we hung out with happened to be here, nothing against any of the other clubs. And it just sort of became a very home-like sort of feeling. When I eventually woke out of the fog and raising, 3 boys and started to get time back to myself, I kept looking at these cages and being like, what's going on in there? And I knew some of these guys were playing and watching them, and I was just like, I gotta figure out what this is, because it looks like a lot of fun. As soon as, just like everybody else that plays this sport, you get the bug, it's game over.
Yeah. Become infected. Who gets to play with Tyler in the league classic? I've asked this of other clubs, there can be a bureaucracy about who gets to play with the pro, and
This is,
how's that work here?
I don't think there's any, this is the first year,
Okay,
and I think Tyler just asked the guy he wanted.
okay.
Who's that?
Tyler.
And he made him play deuce, and the guy never played deuce before ever. And now his nickname is Deuce Tilson.
I might have to steal that for somebody at our club. So one of the things I told you, Jack, like I played for the first time at Minnesink, and those guys were great. I mean, they had brats going the night we were there, and it was just a great vibe. And I said to one of the guys, I said, "Who's your rival?" And they're like, "Oh, Chatham Fishing Game's our rival." And I said, "Well, are they the hoity-toity club compared to you guys?" And they're like, "Oh no, it's the other way around. Like the fishing game guys revel in being, partiers and more low-key and more fun." So do you consider them your rival club, or?
Absolutely, I mean, absolutely, but it's again friendly, it's a friendly rivalry though. I do think that there's within that rivalry with a lot of the other clubs around here, there's a little bit of envy about our setup.
Yeah,
Because there's not many other clubs that, the A team will have a match on whatever night it is, and they'll come back here and there'll be 25, 30 people here hanging out. And watching the B team play the whole match here.
yeah.
And people walk in and they're just like, wait, you guys aren't even waiting for the courts, you're just here to hang out? And we all seem to have each other's backs, and we got a nice setup and things. People like to come here and hang out. It's like
Park Lakes.
Yeah.
It's a little, it's a little like Park Lakes, Bellsbrook, that's a little bit like that too, but, all right, back to the culture thing. The thing about this way is, if the top team is playing at home, guys from the 3rd, 4th, 5th, women will come out and watch that match. Second team is playing away. When they're done, they'll all come back. There'll be 30 people here watching Monday Night Football, watching the rest of the match, just hanging out, we'll order pizza. And if you come on Monday at 11, there's a ton of people.
Awesome.
That's.
Tell me about the Chatham Cup. What is it? Who's involved?
It's a tournament between Minnesink, Fairmont. No, it used to be involved, but when they
Is Fairmont another rival, or?
sure start with the Chatham Cup.
Okay,
Way it works is each club has 2 teams per line, so there's 10 lines.
okay,
So the best guys are on line 1, in theory, 2, 3, then so 4 guys from each club play line 1. So like I'm in line 1 this year, but I was in line 2 last year. You can move around depending on NTI and who you're playing with. And all the way down, and it kind of just works like an NCAA tournament basketball. You get points for the first round. I guess, 4 teams will move to the semifinals from each group. And then they get points for winning the semi, points for the final. It doesn't matter if the top guy win. Most of the time, the Chatham Cup is won by the lower level.
Okay.
So it's a cumulative point total that determines who heads home with the championship.
And our trophy is sitting right there.
All right.
So
It's right
we're
here.
the most recent winners.
Named after.
Steve, that name?
No.
He's a famous longtime pro with Hall of Fame. You know, Jim Farrer.
Yeah.
That's her.
That's his dog.
Okay. All right. Now, what about, I read online, the red solo? Red solo.
So I used to run it, for a number of years. It's a collective, thing that we have here that's been ongoing for a number of years. It's a mixed doubles tournament. So the men's, anybody can sign up. So you match up with a player file, a male player and female player. And it's usually a 2-day tournament. So it's not exactly like full sets or anything like that. It's usually, first to 4 or 5 games or whatever, and you get points for that. And then each round, you add up the total number of points and you advance to the next round. But it's one of the ways to bring the men and the women paddle players in this place closer together.
Okay.
Right? Because we only have limited courts. We all cheer for each other in various times out of the year, but it's one of those things that it's just a great 2-day tournament where everybody gets to come out and have fun, and people come down, bring food, bring their families.
There's tons of food.
Kids are running around.
People are outside. Yeah, the houses come, kids are here.
It's named after one of our
Other longtime members, a guy named Rich Tallman. He's the guy who started it. He kind of taught me how to play. He started it, and now it's named after him. He still he plays on our team
I
still.
just played the other night with them in Winter League.
Nice. So to wrap this up, give me like one sentence that describes Chatham Fishing Game to you, or it could just be, 3 to 5 different words.
The first word for me is pops into mind is
Do you have a bed upstairs? In the shooting.
sometimes I think my wife
We
believes
used to have a tennis pro slept on the couch in the office downstairs.
Should we have been PK? Yeah. Could have been PK. Could have been
This guy was the
PK.
head coach of Drew Tennis.
Jeffrey.
No, before Jeffrey.
Okay.
And he didn't really play paddle much, but he would watch us and hang out on Monday nights
Okay.
and lived 40 miles away, and sometimes he just went up still.
I'm sorry, I interjected. Home, what else?
fail. Like
Okay.
Jack and I are part of a group of guys that come down here every Sunday in the fall. We watch football games together. We rotate who's responsible for food. We'll just come here and hang out.
Yeah.
My kids are getting older. They, as with most of the kids in high school and college and whatnot, as they start to drift away, you find you have more time. And so we all come down here and hang out with each other and watch games, hang out, eat, play some paddle if the courts are open, which is getting rare.
You guys play summer paddle?
Yep.
All right.
All year.
How about you, Jack? What's, how would you?
It's just I think it's an amazing culture. Everyone gets along for the most part. Someone said to me the other day, no one really ever talks about their job or work.
Okay.
It's just everyone's down here to have a good time, get along with each other, have fun. As I was telling you guys before, you come in and out whenever you want, any time of night, stay as late as you want, as long as you clean up and shut
There's
down.
no 10 o'clock curfew?
10 o'clock. Courts the lights may have to go off
Yeah.
at a certain time, but there's people here all the time.
That's awesome. Luke, any other questions or?
No, just thank you guys for the hospitality. This has been awesome.
Yeah.
Unbelievable
I
club.
know we've talked about it for a
Yeah.
while, so it's great to come up here and.
Tagged up Bobby Fisher, couldn't make it back.
I know, well, I offered it, he just couldn't make it tonight, so, but we'll have to come back up again. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming. Cheers. I hope that was okay.
Shortly after I asked Jack who the club legends were, and he immediately named an older gentleman named Bill. Bill himself walked into the clubhouse. Perfect timing. He was eager to share what he knew, and you could tell right away he had stories to tell. It was impossible to miss how much this place and the people in it mean to him. Okay, we're here round two for Chatham Fish and Game. This part is a special one because I've got a guy on who represents something we don't talk enough about in paddle. We spend so much time chasing PTIs, match results, and who beat who, but every now and then you meet a member who reminds you what these clubs are actually about: history, community, tradition, and the people who quietly keep the place running. My guest today is Bill Fuller, an absolute legend at Chatham Fish and Game. Bill has been a member here for 52 years, and what makes him so fascinating is that he doesn't just belong to the club, he knows the club. He's lived the evolution of Fish and Game from the old school days into what it is now, from tennis and bowling to paddle becoming the heartbeat of this social Shangri-La. He went down to the local library and looked up a piece for me that was written in 1991 called Mirror of a Century, 100 Years of Chatham Fish and Game. So today we're diving into Fish and Game with Bill, paddle in the early days, volunteering, and why some clubs just feel different. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you, Sean. Pleasure to be here.
How'd you like that intro?
Great.
All right.
Fantastic. Better than great.
Thank you. I've been getting a lot of accolades on my intro, so I wanted to deliver just for you. So, Bill, why don't you walk through how you became a member at the club before we dive into the culture?
Okay. Well, I was working in New York, and living in New York, and when I moved to Chatham in 1968 with my wife, who was a member here back then when she was a kid. And then we had a small family growing, and by the time all three kids were born, she wanted to join and I wanted to join. And we went here mostly in the summer during the pool season with our kids. And that's how I fell in love with Chatham Fish and Game Club.
So the social family aspect.
Exactly.
And being able to take your kids here.
To the pool,
Oh,
yes.
to the pool.
Yes.
And then what was the progression from there? Did you end up on the tennis court from there? How did that progress?
Well, I was still working in New York City at the time, so with the late commuting and stuff, I didn't have much of a chance to play tennis by the time I got home, and I was busy with young kids during the weekends. So I didn't start playing tennis here until after my job moved to, I was working for Exxon at the time, moved to the neighboring town of Florham Park. And this freed me up to start playing tennis initially there in Center Court, Morristown. And then I liked tennis so much, I had just started to play tennis then. So then I started playing the next summer at Fish and Game Club.
Why do you think people fall in love with this place?
Well, it's a very friendly place. I think that's basically why. It's just, you make a lot of good friends here, and everybody is welcoming, and it's a member volunteer place, so you get to know people from your whatever activities you're doing by volunteering here as well.
How has it evolved to manage without losing its identity? Is there one thing that you can point to that has held the club together?
Well, we have a very active board of trustees here. We have about 12 or so people on the board. They are incredibly smart, hardworking people who manage the club, and that's been part of its success. They're also very imaginative, and will take things that you would not normally think of happening. To give an example, one of our presidents, Calvin Breen, had the idea of selling our old bowling machinery for scrap metal because we couldn't get it repaired anymore. It was so it had just fallen apart, and there were no people to repair it, and it wasn't worth it economically.
You didn't start playing paddle until you were 50. How did that happen, and what did it feel like being new at that age?
I started playing paddle then because I was in the bowling league at the time, and when I was done with bowling, I would come out and I would see all these other guys on men's open night playing paddle, and I thought they were having a lot more fun than I was having bowling. I topped out at an average of about 150s, low 150s, although my high score game was 205, but I just couldn't progress higher up in my average score than the low 150s. And so I decided I would switch to paddle.
And was there some one particular member that worked with you to learn the game at that time, or?
Yeah, actually there was, because I didn't know anything about platform tennis, as its formal name is back then. And that was Ken Basmagian, who's still a member here with his wife, and he goes swimming, but he doesn't play paddle anymore because as you get older, your balance could go down, which is happening to me as well. But he was very helpful in getting me going with learning how to play paddle.
And so, I've asked a lot of people that started out in tennis that eventually evolved into paddle. What was the biggest challenge for you in the beginning?
The biggest challenge for me was getting myself into the right position with balls that hit the screen, either the side screen or the back screen, and that was very difficult for me. And also, when I initially started playing here, we didn't have the top quality courts that we have now. The screens were kind of dead for a while.
Okay.
And then I also played paddle tennis at Colony Pool in Chatham and in Florham Park, where the screens were also dead.
So that helped you take that extra step, right? Or get really low to be able to save the point?
Yes, exactly. And I had trouble getting really low too.
You and me both, Bill. What did you like about paddle versus tennis?
I like paddle very much more than tennis, actually, because it's a smaller court and it enabled people to banter back and forth while we were playing. There was particularly one guy that was so good at it, Vinny Vicacello. He would just keep you laughing as you were playing. Now, we weren't playing matches back then. We were just doing intra-club. Not matches, just playing for fun. And that was good. And then subsequently, of course, when we got a paddle hut built here, you could socialize inside the paddle hut. So I found paddle more sociable than tennis.
Now, Vinny, was he self-deprecating about his play, or was he trash-talking opponents, or both?
Neither, really.
No.
He was just so creative at making jokes. He would just keep you laughing as you were playing. I want to remember one thing. We were playing in the early fall, I guess it was, and there was a moth flying on the court. And he said, "Oh, a moth got in my way."
You talked about volunteering, and I know, when I took the tour with Jack, he talked about other ways that you guys have been creative beyond selling the bowling equipment and how you all pitch together. You want to talk a little bit about the volunteering aspect here to keep this place running?
Well, there's a real history of volunteering at Fish and Game. We are a member-owned club, and we recently got an operations manager that gets a salary, but we didn't have that initially. Anything that needed to be done, the members did. For example, when I was on the board, we had potholes that developed during a winter in the parking lot, but we were on harsh times financially back then. So I was the House and Grounds trustee with another co-trustee. So we bought Sackcrete, and we used that to fill the potholes, and my wife would come with her car and run over it to smooth it down with the rest of the driveway. And another example was when the clubhouse needed painting, just needed a new coat of paint and to spruce it up. So I organized a large group of members to paint the entire clubhouse, including one side of the clubhouse is really about 3 stories up from the parking lot level to the peak. And we had men with very long poles with rollers at the end painting that side of the building, and the other side of the building was where the pool deck was. That was only like 10 feet high, so that was a lot easier. Also, the pool area needed repainting, so I organized a group of people to do that. And despite the age of when the tennis courts were built, the wall next to the pool area, because the tennis courts are higher up, that was just bare concrete. So that was the first time in the history of the club that wall had ever been painted.
What about snow removal on the courts? Has that changed over time, how you guys do that, or?
Our courts, our paddle courts, do not have heat underneath them. A lot of paddle courts are elevated about 4 or so feet over the ground, and there's an enclosure built in that space from the court down to the ground level. And you can install like a kerosene burners underneath to melt the snow and ice on the paddle courts. But our courts, because of the very limited amount of space that Fish and Game has, were built on like 20-foot high, maybe not quite that high, maybe 15 feet high, pillars, steel pillars over our driveway. And so it was not impractical. It would be too windy for the burners to work there. So we don't have burners. So what happened, we currently have snow on the ground and have had for a couple days. So Monday morning, a bunch of people came down here, men's paddle group people, and they cleaned the courts starting early in the morning. And so what we do is we put tarps down. They put tarps down on top of the court, and then they clear the snow off those tarps, and then take them up, and then the courts are ready to be played again. And they did that starting early Monday morning because it was a beautiful sunny day, even though it was cold, and we could resume play Monday night.
Oh, that's fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about the culture as well. Anything else in particular about men's night or the play here? I know I talked to Jack. I know that the tournament is the best guy plays with the least skilled guy, and that's a little bit unique. Anything else about the culture here, socially or paddle-wise, that's notable for you?
Well, what you mentioned, Sean, was the men's intra-club tournament, which is held every year, normally starting in January or February. This year it's going to start a little bit later. This is almost the forever tournament because it takes sometimes until the end of the summer when the finals happen. But the idea there is that an older, more experienced member will play with a younger guy just taking up the game. And it's a great concept, I think. Again, it's like the older person the more experienced person would volunteer, if you will, not to play with another A-team style player, but to help another younger guy get to know the game.
And it hasn't been noted yet, and it's hard to see, but Bill is wearing a summer paddle shirt. So they play summer paddle here at Fishing Game.
Oh, yeah, I was on the 2019 Summer Paddle League, where we played other clubs in Chatham. And that was, nice. You don't really want to travel too far during the summertime. So that worked out really well.
And how long have you been playing summer paddle here for forever, or is this fairly new?
Well, no, it started about, I think it was 2017, 2018,
Okay.
it started. What was the custodian's apartment was renovated to become the paddle hut. And big windows were added by each of the two, looking out over each of the two paddle courts. And that paddle hut became a tremendous attraction for members to come and hang out and socialize. In fact, even currently, when I might be out doing something else in the evening, I live near the Fish and Game Club, and I would come by going home. I'd always drive through Fish and Game and see if the lights were on at night, on like a Friday night or a Saturday night. And most of the time they are on. And so I would come in and see who's here and stay for a while.
You said you even recently saw a play, right? And then after the play, you swung by.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out doing something. This even happened New Year's Eve. I went to Morristown, the neighboring town, has a very nice New Year's Eve celebration. I've done this past New Year's Eve for the second year in a row. And I really like that. But I decided not to stay for the fireworks this year because I knew some people were going to be here. And so I come over to Fish and Game at about 11:30 at night, and there were maybe 30 people here having their own little
Celebration.
New Year's Eve celebration get together. And so I stayed till 1 o'clock, but I wasn't the last to leave. But I'll be here forever.
I would too if I was a member. And they bestowed upon you. You no longer have to pay fees as a member. Is that right?
Well, I volunteered I was on the board here as House and Grounds trustee for 6 years. So the conditions of getting to be an honorary member like I am now is that you have to have done things here to the benefit of the club, and you have to be here as a 50-year member.
Well, that's an amazing tribute to you and everything you've done for this club.
I'd love to do what I've done here.
That's great. Bill, thank you very much for sharing with us all the history of this club and nuances of it and your experience. As I told Jack, if it was a little bit closer, I'd be a member here as well. So it's just probably 20 minutes too far to be a member. Otherwise, I'd be a member here.
Well, thank you, Sean. It's been a total pleasure for me to do this with you and to meet you.
Great, thank you. And I do have a gift. I have some Cutter's Rule merchandise for you.
Oh, fantastic.
There you go.
Oh my God. Oh, that's wonderful here. Oh my God.
Wear it with pride.
I will.
And have Tyler teach you how to hit a cutter. Do you know how to hit a cutter?
I saw him do that the last time I was here watching him play. Is a cutter, what you mean by that is the ball, you hit it like this.
Yeah.
But he hit it like 12 feet up in the air.
Yeah.
With the idea that it would just get over the net and then bounce back to his side.
Yes. Yeah, that's the cutter.
I was wondering why you named your podcast Cutter's Rule. I was going to ask you that.
There you go. So Tyler's a good teacher. He's taught many people.
I'm going to try that the next time I'm out on the court.
I love it. Go for it. Send video and we'll put you up.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Bill.
All right. Thank you very much, Sean.
So, horse head, right?
Yep.